searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair, because eyes so bright.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Scheananigans. So the last time these two ladies joined me on the podcast, someone mentioned that we are silly bitches. So this week, I wanted to get my silly bitches back together. Thank you for joining me. MJ, Kiki, how we doing?
We're down, we're down to buy a house off the merch for silly bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, right?
That'll work for me.
Feeling super silly.
Yeah. I think we should just title the podcast Silly Bitches.
Yeah, okay. I'm
I
down.
like that. Yeah. So it's the Friday before Christmas, right? Oh my God, it's Christmas next week?
Oh
yes.
my God.
Yes. It's
Okay.
right around the corner.
I'm like, that is next week. It's coming up really quick. I still have another trip to Ojai this week with my daughter's school friends. I have not completed my Christmas shopping whatsoever because I just dropped like $10K on the Hawaii trip.
Which
So
looked fun.
it was so fun. The fact that Moana remembered Summer's name.
Oh,
she was
really?
literally standing on the bridge over like the koi fish pond and she goes, "Hi, Summer."
Aw.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And the fact that it was the same Moana.
Yeah.
Day one, it was a different one. Morning was one, and then afternoon was a different one. So I'm like, it's probably just, but they looked very similar. Like
Okay.
those girls were probably sisters.
Yeah.
But then it was the same one the rest of the week and remembered her name. It was
Oh.
so
love
cute.
that.
Job security and more.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, small
Yeah.
island,
Yeah.
right?
And I just have to give a shout out to the lifeguards at RHONY. They are on it. Just in the lazy river. I mean, they're walking by, they're doing the things with the heads, and it was just like shoom, shoom, shoom. I was like, 5-star to the lifeguards.
That's
So,
my first priority is safety.
Yeah.
Because you've got sharks, you've got alligators, you've got the reason for aerial drone lifeguards. I think that should be a thing in
Yeah.
Hawaii where your lifeguard is watching from above so that we can
Yeah.
be safe.
Mm-hmm.
that is a good idea.
And since we know that when they say if there's too many parents, it gives a false sense of safety because everyone thinks that everyone is watching.
right.
But in reality, one person has to be singularly assigned.
Yes.
Shout out to the lifeguards.
Yeah. For Summer's birthday next year, we now have to do 2 parties because in school, you can't invite one kid unless you invite all of them.
Love that.
And even though there aren't 26 kids with her every day in the entire grade, there's 26
Oh,
total.
wow.
So
Yeah,
that on top of, you and your son, all of my other friends with their
Yeah.
kids, our cousins, it's way too many to do one party. So we're going to do one at Castle Park and do like a mini golf arcade thing for all of her school friends and then do a separate party.
Shout out Castle Park.
Yeah, right?
I can't believe they do that for kids now. I mean, like back in my day, it's either just like you didn't get invited or you turned down, going to the party.
But I do like that they do that. They said unless you're making it a
Inclusive.
gender specific thing, if
Yeah.
all the girls are going to the Bibbidi Bobbidi boutique.
Yeah.
But then
Is
I'm
that
singling
is
out
that
Brittany.
shade to
Shams.
Bibbidi Beppo?
The Bibbidi Bobbidi
You were thinking it, right? No.
It's a downtown Disney where they dress you up like princesses. They do a little bit of like sparkly
Oh,
glam, put your
yeah.
hair in like the tightest bun you've ever seen.
Aw.
It's adorable. So it's
Okay.
like, unless we're doing something like that, then we still have to have all of the girls. And it's like some of my closest friends, you, Brittany, you have sons. So what?
Yeah.
You just don't get to celebrate with
Yeah.
me?
Right.
So
So when I was going to invite my whole class, I told the teacher, I was like, can you drop this invite? And she goes, you don't need to. He only has like 3 or 4 or 5 boy like friends. And so she gave me the pass not
okay.
to include. But that was a couple of years like in the pre-K. So now I like this
Yeah.
all-inclusivity thing.
Totally.
Mhm.
And I've heard about kids who have a birthday party and then no one shows up. Like that
Yeah.
actually happens. So I do like that they force
Yeah.
us to do this.
Yeah.
I don't even remember why I started talking about this. I had a
Oh.
point.
Yes, you were saying this year it's going to be 2 birthdays, not
Oh,
one.
pool, lifeguard.
Yeah.
The second one is going to be a pool party,
Mhm.
but I'm also hiring 2 lifeguards. One's going to
Mhm.
be in the water and one's going to be out. You
Smart.
still have to watch your kids,
Yeah.
obviously,
Right.
but we're going to have lifeguards
Yeah.
at the party.
Super
Very
smart.
smart.
That's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Anyway. So how are we feeling about Christmas? Do we have our Christmas shopping done?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay, good. It's not just me.
Not just that, but Tommy's birthday is on the 29th. So I have
Oh,
to
God.
cover
Oh.
2 things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm going to get him an experience, and I think he'll be happy if I
I love that.
surprise him. I think if we hop in the car and do solving, he's never done that before. So
yeah,
it'll be
that'll be
fun.
fun.
That's so
Yeah.
fun. I
Yeah.
love solving.
yeah. So
Have
I
you
think
been
we'll
to
do that.
Ojai?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
see, I've never done that. So this is a first for me.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's really quiet. Are you
Yeah.
going to Ojai Valley Inn?
Yes.
Oh, it's-
and they have like
can hear a
brunch
pin
with
drop.
Santa, and they have like elves deliver cookies to your room or
Oh, I
something.
love
But I'm
that.
like, wait, elves? Like, do we have kids delivering cookies with pointy ears? I don't know. But
No.
it said the elf delivery. Maybe it just shows up at the door, and you're like, oh, the elves came. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
it's-
I'm interested to see what they do.
It's my cousin's favorite place in the world. So I know
Okay.
you guys will.
Love
You'll
that.
love it.
I've heard it's magical, so
Mhm.
I'm
It is.
excited. However, what I'm not excited about is we had a terrible Chargers game yesterday. I don't know if you guys watched, but
Did
it's like
not.
40-17. It was terrible.
Oh.
And I thought that there was one last game on Sunday. They were going to have me do the siren thing to get the whole crowd going. I was going to bring Summer. We've had this plan for months. And luckily for the Chargers, it's now upgraded to the Thursday night game because it's a division game. We're playing the Broncos. So everyone's like, yeah, Thursday night game. I'm like, cool. I'll be at the Ojai Valley Inn.
no.
And now I don't get to go to the last game. Summer doesn't get to go to any more games this season
So that
unless we
was-
make the playoffs. But it's just such a bummer. So
You're gonna have to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
we have to. But yesterday was really bad. Anyways. Okay, so trigger warning here for parents. We're about to discuss Santa and the gifting process. In case you have kids listening, which I really hope you don't, because this is not a channel, podcast, or anything for children. But just in case you're driving your kids to school, maybe put a pause until you do drop off and then come back to it. So I want to ask you, because now, I mean, your kid's obviously a couple years older than me. And now that Summer is, I think last year she definitely was super into Christmas and Santa, but this year more than ever,
Yeah.
and just believing in all of that. How do you navigate what presents are from Santa, what are from you, and like how do you divide that up? Or is everything from Santa and he gets all the credit and he doesn't even exist?
I was going to do only Santa. And then I realized, what are you doing? You're actually spending the money. You're doing all the gift wrapping and
and
all
getting
the
no
work
credit.
and getting no credit.
Right.
So I'm splitting it in half
Okay.
this year because it's also a pawn that I can use to, convince him to be making good choices throughout the
Right.
year. And I think that it's fair that he opens up maybe like 60 Santa, 40 mom and
Okay.
dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's fair. I'm also curious, like, where do you hide your gifts? Because I remember the moment I found a Santa gift before Christmas.
Oh.
I have a giant box in our garage right now, and I have a bin on top of it, so she can't even peek in it.
Okay.
Right.
And that box will come to Palm Springs with us, but I wrap everything in Palm Springs. So
Okay.
I put it all in just one area, and then she doesn't know what's in the box.
And you
when
change handwriting too, like from Santa.
So I
'cause that
feel
was a
like
giveaway.
Oh,
this year I'm going to have to do that because
Yeah.
I think she's going to pay attention more.
Mhm.
Or maybe the gifts from Santa just have an S on it or something, and it's for
Yeah.
Summer, it's for
Or maybe
Santa.
they're stamped with like a cool sticker
Yeah.
or like a
I
stamp
need to
or
figure that out,
something.
'cause-
An
Yeah.
official North Pole
Yes.
passport.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, Summer is very smart for her age. I mean, just I feel like, what if this is my only Christmas? She believes in Santa. Like, I already worry about that. Like, the fact that she's falling for this elf on the shelf every night, every morning. I'm like, you actually believe this shit?
Wait, can
That's
you
great.
explain the elf on the shelf? Like, what does the elf? I know that every parent does this.
Okay,
It's
so
a good thing.
I didn't read all of the rules, okay? The trolls and moms of Instagram have let me know I was doing it wrong. So apparently you can't touch the elf because you ruin the elf's magic. The elf's not real, okay? Like, what the hell? Like, why does it matter if I pick it up? But someone saw that Brock touched it and they're like, no, the magic. I'm like, You are commenting on Instagram, ma'am. It's adults on here. Like, what the fuck? So
She can't read
apparently
yet. It's
you need
okay.
to use like tweezers or tongs or whatever to have the elf. So then I have to now make up this story because then Summer did watch the movie about the elf on the shelf. And I guess when the kid touched the elf, it loses its magic. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want her to feel like she's killing this elf. So I was like, oh, Summer, I said, so mommy and daddy found out that, like in the movie, when we do touch the elf, it loses his magic. But I came up with the thing of his little travel case. I said every time at night when you put him back in his travel case, it recharges his magic.
Okay.
So don't worry if you
Oh.
touch him a little bit. It's okay.
Brilliant.
Because then she was getting so worried. She's like, oh, my mommy, I touched it. I'll go,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay. But like
Brilliant.
for the internet, let's try and do it the right way.
Yeah.
How the hell would
Yeah.
I know that you're not supposed to touch the elf? I'm
Yeah.
just making him do different things every night.
Yeah.
Plus, regarding if she's going to find out about Santa Claus being real or not, that can happen at school.
Yes.
Other people have control over that. There are other
They have
parents,
older siblings.
Mhm.
yeah,
Or
and they might be
assholes.
telling. Yeah, I wonder if in school they try to discourage what parents are telling their kids.
Mhm.
And the reason I wonder that is because Shams being 2 years exactly older
Yeah.
than Summer, I think he still definitely does.
Mhm.
And that's why it is easy to hide gifts right now, because they don't think about like getting into boxes and
Yeah.
certain things. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to really enjoy this Christmas with her while there is still, that magic, because you never know.
Oh.
At any year, it
Yeah.
could just go away and they don't believe.
So Elf on a Shelf, to clarify for Kiki, is
Like
that
the elf moves around at the night.
It
and
does
little-
different things.
He's an official representative from the North Pole. He's helping Santa and he's watching you. So it is another bribe to make sure
Got it.
that you know that one of Santa's helpers is all over the place and you better stay in line. That's what I
Big
think.
brother, little elf.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Summer is a pretty well-behaved kid. So right now, she
So
just
cute.
thinks that the elf is just mischievous and getting into different things. And he's a naughty elf, she says. She goes, no, he's a
Oh.
naughty elf. And people are like,
Oh.
wait, does she have Brock's accent? Just the way she says
Yeah.
naughty. She was not naughty. It's naughty, like naughty elf. Like,
So
it's
cute.
adorable. And so in the morning she wakes up, she goes, Mommy, do you think the elf, okay, so maybe if he's a nice elf, then he's still in my bed. But if he's a naughty elf, then he might
Aw.
have gotten into mischief. And I was like, I don't know. We have to go see. And she's like, oh, he's not a nice elf. He's a naughty elf again.
Oh, that is too
And
cute.
it's just
I
been
love
so
that.
fun.
Yeah.
So we brought him with us to Hawaii in the little travel case, recharged his magic, did something different every morning. And
I love that.
it was really cute.
That is.
Yeah.
There's a whole account about creative ways to make the elf show up in the
Oh,
morning.
yes.
Like there's like painter's tape and you basically block your entrance and he's like stuck on it. There's so many, or like,
There's
The
so
flower.
many creative things.
are you doing the flower footsteps out of the fireplace? Because we have to make, like,
No.
oh, you're not doing that? Oh, you have
No.
to.
Oh,
So
better get on
Okay.
it.
here's when Santa Claus comes, there's going to be
Oh, not the
footsteps-
elf like every night. Like,
Oh,
for
no, no.
Santa.
Oh, that
Okay.
would have been a lot of time. No,
Okay.
yeah. The Santa Claus footsteps
Yes.
in flour
Okay.
with the
See,
cookies
where-
and the milk right by the
Okay.
fireplace.
Where our fireplace is in Palm Springs is
Mhm.
also like where all the presents are in front of. So I'll have to
Mhm.
figure
Just
that
a
out.
couple
But that's a good idea.
a couple of combat boot footprints.
Yeah.
And not a lot. And it is really hard to clean up. It's really messy and it will mess up your vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
So just be
Good to know.
really careful. Probably just use like
Yeah.
wipes instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's super worth it because it definitely is proof of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
eat the cookies.
The
I
cookies?
I make it
Oh,
sound
we
like my
do.
parents were terrible, but I
Yep.
found cookies in the trash.
Yeah.
Like they were amazing parents. But
Oh,
there were lots of
eat
clues along the
them.
way
Yeah.
that were like, this
Right.
is them.
Don't have lipstick on the glass. That
Yeah.
You drink the milk.
Right. Hey, Santa could wear some gloss.
This is true, you know.
Cherry lips. He was kissing mommy. There's some
Oh.
lipstick on the glass.
Yeah.
You
Always
know,
an excuse.
I do have a problem with mommy kissing Santa Claus because I think that's
Maybe she was a single
giving-
mommy.
I don't know, dude. I feel like it's giving the wrong message. It's basically saying you can kiss other men if you're married. I don't know.
But
if
how do we
you-
know that mommy was married? Oh, wait, no, because then they say if
Mommy's
daddy
kissing
would
Santa
find
Claus.
out. Yes.
Oh yeah. I don't know. It's just
Ho,
weird.
ho, ho, mom.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay, we're going to take a quick little break and we'll be right back. All right, y'all. I want to talk to you about one of my favorite things that I like to do for self-care, and that is laser hair removal. And I'm here to talk to you about Ideal Image. I have been doing laser hair removal for going on 8 years. I like to stay consistent with it because the more you do, the less that grows back. And Ideal Image is North America's #1 medical aesthetics provider. This is something that I feel like just helps me exude confidence, knowing at any time I can just throw on a dress, shorts, a bikini, whatever, and not have the normal hair regrowth that I would have if I didn't have laser hair removal. I feel so confident. I'm telling you guys, I never have to worry about under my arms, my bikini. Like, I am so good to go. Ideal Image provides a personalized and premium experience. They deliver real results. They have exclusive technology that treats all skin types and tones. And there is a reason why they are North America's #1 medical aesthetics provider. I highly recommend laser hair removal. It will do a number on your confidence. You can get an exclusive $100 off offer for all of my listeners. Get $100 off and your free consultation when you schedule at IDEAL.VIP/Scheana. That's www.ideal.vip/SCHEANA. And you know what else helps you feel confident? Smelling your best. And you may wonder, is giving deodorant as a gift offensive? Well, it depends. Definitely not if it's Lume deodorant. I feel like most deodorants I've tried either have to be reapplied or just cover up odor, only for armpits. So yeah, I guess if someone gave me that kind of deodorant, I'd probably be offended. But let's say they gave me Lume, totally different story. So if you haven't heard all of the hype around Lume, let me fill you in. I've talked about this on the podcast before, and I'm going to talk to you about it again because it is a whole body deodorant created by an OBGYN for all of the places odor naturally forms on our body, obviously underarms, but also feet, underboobs, and intimate areas, places you might not think need deodorant, but they do. They are all baking soda free, paraben free, pH balanced for safe use below the belt. My favorite is the lavender sage, but they also have clean tangerine and toasted coconut. Lume's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, which is what I got, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lume products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code GOODASGOLD for 15% off your first purchase at lumedeodorant.com. That's code GOODASGOLD at LUMEDEODORANT.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Okay, so back to the Mommy Kissing Santa Claus song. When did that come out? In like the 40s? I mean, that song is probably so old, right?
Yeah,
So
I imagine.
So many of the Christmas songs and like nursery rhymes that we grew up with, there's so many
Have
things
been
that I'm
canceled.
like, yeah, but they still produce books with these things. Like Summer has a 2-year-old nursery rhyme book, and it's all of the original nursery rhymes. Like Humpty Dumpty, sat on the wall, had a great fall, and they couldn't put him back together. And it's like,
yeah.
that's sad.
Are you saying they're
Why-
archaic?
You know?
Do we need to
Come up with new nursery
like
rhymes
some new
and
ones? Some like 2025 versions?
Yeah. Like remember the mother who lived in the shoe?
Yeah.
She had so many kids, she didn't know what to do and like
Right.
couldn't feed them. And it's just like,
But
Yeah.
see, that's why that episode of Abbott Elementary was so funny, because that's exactly what she tried to do, because one of the students was Muslim and didn't celebrate Christmas. So she was trying to make a holiday song, but it ended up becoming like the worst song ever because they couldn't like fit everything else
yeah.
into it. And they were
Yeah.
just like, so then they just made a fun kid song that was just about like poop and like snow or something.
Okay, that works.
And they were like, perfect.
Well, now you can't sing Baby It's Cold Outside because that's, got undertones. You know
Yeah.
about that.
Right.
Like, oh, it's rapey.
I'm
but
just like,
sorry.
Stay
Yeah.
inside. You're going to stay in my house.
I
and
know.
Keep drinking. Yeah.
No, seriously. So many
Christmas
songs.
is ruined.
Yeah. Just listen to Christmas Sleigh. If you guys haven't already, stream it. There's a remix out there. We decided to take out all of the Bravo references and just do a more classic version of Christmas Sleigh. So that's
I
now
want to hear it.
out.
I'm
I can't
excited
wait.
to
It's
hear
good.
it.
I can
Cue
play you our
cue
new
it up.
little bridge,
Yes, please.
little preview.
For real.
I was just listening to it on the way here because I put it on my Christmas list.
It's that time of year for kissing underneath the mistletoe. I hope old Saint Nick don't catch me acting like a ho-ho-ho. 'Cause I've been being naughty,
I love
really
that.
feeling jolly, shaking like a snow globe, Santa's little body. So if you're gonna be a Scrooge, then you just gotta go. And we'll live this Christmas like we're under the lights. I'm the star on top, the way I'm shining so bright, so bright. It's a Christmas sleigh, la 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 la, la 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 la. It's a Christmas sleigh, la 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 la, la 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 la.
And then we changed the bridge.
The holiday season, I got the feeling. Kick back and relax by the fire, no freezing. Like we're in the North Pole, Santa, give me some gifts. It's Christmas time, and I'm trying to finesse off the naughty list. You catch my drift? I'm trying to be an angel, no longer a Grinch. It's been a long year, I've been bumping, I'm tired, but my baby's arrived, and it's time to go wild. Hanging stockings with care. Count your blessings, bros. Merry Christmas to you. Let the good times roll. And we're this Christmas.
I think it's like the best,
is too
holiday
cute.
song from the Bravo universe, even though you took all the Bravo references
Yes.
out. I like it.
But like the first version, we had the Tres Amigas sipping tequila. Then Shannon had the DUI, and we're like, the Tres Amigas are not Dos Amigas, and we're
Yeah.
like, no. And
I
then
see.
we had Rachel's name in it,
Oh,
and
no.
it was just like we're like, let's not.
yeah.
And then we were figuring out, can we pull down the old version? But because it was like the same artwork and the same name, we just had to put a remix up. So both are still available, but this one is just more of a classic Christmas.
I like
I'm
it.
downloading both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
Yeah. It was really
how do you
cute.
guys feel going into the holidays? Is it like a stressful time, a relaxing time? What are your plans?
It used to be really stressful. I used to volunteer and stretch myself out onto like both sides of the family. Now that I've learned to say no,
That's important.
it's a game changer. And now I just feel excited because I can catch up, and I feel like you and I hung out,
Yeah.
and I went in my closet yesterday to like fix a couple things. To me, that is something that we should all have all year round. And it's a shame that we only have it when things, quote, slow down. But
Yeah.
for me, I am choosing that for myself. And for that, that's my whole thing right now for the holidays.
Love that.
Yeah, it used to be really like depressing and stressful for me. And I think I was putting that on myself because I was just like, like I don't have kids and I don't want to have kids. My parents never pressured me to have kids, but I was just like, it kind of felt weird. Like if I go home, you don't have to buy me gifts. I'm an adult. I can do my thing. But now that my friends have kids, it's more fun. Like I like watching the joy through them and being a cool auntie and using the end of the year to recharge for myself. So I just use it as like what are my goals for next year? And then just like living through the joy of like these little kids who don't have to worry about being an adult yet.
Totally.
I forgot about the kid part. Was there a kid part?
But that's how I feel too. I'm like, there are certain things where I told my sister, I'm like, oh, if you see this, like, I want this. Because I know we still are going to do gifts for each other. But I mean, we're adults, I'm like, you don't need to buy me a present. I would rather pay for an experience or do things like that. I mean, we still always end up buying gifts, but it is about the kids, and it is so fun. Like the older Summer gets, I remember her first Christmas and she couldn't figure out really the wrapping paper into each year.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, she's gonna wake up so early and be so excited. Like, where's Santa? Did he eat the cookies?
Yeah.
What did I
Aw,
like?
so cute.
I'm so excited.
Do you guys do the advent calendars?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
We
'cause
do.
That's how we get our kid out of bed every morning.
Yeah. So she decided to start it in November because she couldn't wait, because my sister stupidly gave it to her in November. And she's like, but this is for December. I'm like, that's 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And she's like, can I just open one, please? And so it's all fucked up. Last year we were on it each day. So it's just been at my mom's house, and we do the Elf on the Shelf every night.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
basically the advent calendar just helps him. It's like the alarm clock.
yeah.
Because they're so excited to open up a toy or a piece of chocolate that it's the smoothest transition to wake up in the morning on the whole month of December.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you can't give something to a kid 3 weeks in advance and be like, but hold it. You know, I'm
Delayed
like, Cora, why are you
gratification.
giving this to her right now? And she's like, well, I don't know. I had it. I'm like, well, now we just let her do
No.
it on, November 12th.
No,
I was able to convince my parents to like let me open one present at midnight,
Yes.
but like they always gave me, my mom would always give me like the slippers or like it was never like the fun toy.
I
She's
did
like,
that
"This is
last
what
year
you
this
get."
summer.
Yeah.
I gave her the little mermaid heels
Yeah.
last year. Not at midnight. She was
so
already
cute.
asleep. But the night before, I'm like, you can open this one. And she's like, oh, they're heels. And she loved them. But I'm
Yeah.
like, no, the good stuff we
Yeah.
save for tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I still have a lot of shopping to do. And then she saw me on Amazon the other day, not for her, but I was getting something for my mom. And she's like, I go, oh, mommy's just finishing some Christmas shopping for Nani and Opa. And she's like, but Santa does that. And I'm like, oh, so you think Santa does it all? Like,
Wow.
no. Mommy also
Smart.
buys some presents. And I was like, well, Santa does a lot, but mommy and daddy still are going to get some stuff. And she's like, I don't understand. Like, Santa does everything.
I have a question for both of you. Do you guys think, since you were talking about gift giving to friends and your sister and everything, what do you think about the denomination of like what a gift cost not being important, but just being like more, I remembered you like this, and it could be really a $5 thing. It doesn't even matter. For me and my cousin, she's like my sister, and shout out Ziba. She would love to just, you remembered, and like, what do you guys think? If I gave you guys like something, it could be like shoelaces basically, or a shoelace budget,
Yeah.
but a shoestring budget. Would you be like, that's all she gave me?
No.
I love thought more
It's
than anything.
Totally.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
there's not a gift, but you're like, I thought about getting this for you and then I didn't have time. It's like, that's enough. Literally the thought.
Aw.
She
Yeah.
gave me for my birthday her Sir outfit, her original Sir
Yep.
outfit.
I love
And then she
that.
gave me a candle. I didn't realize it until I got home. The candle is Pinot Grigio
Yeah.
flavor. Like those, because she knows I have a
Little
pop
things.
culture wall, and like I love those little like important pop culture
Yeah.
things.
See, now our stocks just rose to the sky.
Yeah.
I love that too.
No, it's
Yeah.
definitely the thought. Even yesterday, we were going to the football game, and my friends who were going with, they called and they're like, oh, do you guys want Starbucks before we get to your house? And I was like, yeah, I ordered one for me and Brock. And then 5 minutes later, I was like, shit, my mom's here. And I was like, they already left Starbucks. And I was like, Mom, I'm sorry. And she was like, it's okay, the afterthought. And I was like, no, but at least I thought, she goes, no, I'm not being sarcastic. Like, it's the
For
afterthought.
real.
At least you still thought about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. And she's like, I already had coffee today anyways.
Yeah.
But I felt so bad. But I'm like, I still thought.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, exactly. You were raised properly.
Yes, I was. And sometimes I feel like just the stress of life, like I get so overwhelmed and then I forget things. And it is a lot of afterthoughts since after becoming a mom for me.
Yeah.
But
It's true.
still there.
I think that's why I'm trying to catch up this month. I'm like, okay, every little thing that you think about too much,
Mhm.
we need to like cross those off. That starts to wear on me as well. So it's no,
Yeah.
I got to get rid of it.
For sure. Do you guys do a real or a fake tree?
We converted to fake.
Uh-huh.
It is a really big, tall tree,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even know why. I think it was the year that our real tree did not smell so fresh, and I was like, the whole point of having a real
Yeah.
tree is so that it's like gonna smell like Christmas in your house. So
yeah.
it's fantastic. I feel like nothing is wrong with it. We're and it's pre-lit and it's Douglas fir, and that's
Mhm.
gonna be it until
Yeah.
perpetuity.
Yeah, I have PTSD. Like we mostly had fake trees growing up, and then one year, because I wanted, I'm like a real tree. All my friends have real trees, and then we literally drove out to like our country house, and like my dad like chopped down like
Oh,
an
wow.
actual,
That's
like not even at a Christmas tree farm, just like I think into the woods. And my mom, I just remember like it was sap all over the house, like it was terrible. And
Oh, right.
so, fake trees always.
Yeah,
Stacey, what
I've
about you?
converted as well. I grew up with only real trees, but
Mhm.
now my mom has converted to fake as well. The one that I got a couple years ago, I realize every year it's not pre-lit and I hate putting the lights on. And I'm like, Scheana,
Oh.
just buy a new tree.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
don't realize it until I'm putting it together. And now Summer was so excited. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to remember. Like, I might even just order it now. So, and then this
Yeah.
one, like, donate to a family with all of the lights and stuff just because I don't need another one.
Yeah.
But
I
it's so much
highly
easier.
recommend that.
Yeah.
There's one more thing for the people that do have a real tree. Don't forget to water it. You don't want your Christmas to be
Mhm.
on fire. Like every 4
I've had one
days,
of those.
filling that up, people forget that it's dry
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's thirsty.
Have I ever told you guys the story about when my Christmas tree caught on fire? My
No.
first Hollywood apartment.
Oh no.
So it was time to get rid of the trees, and where our balcony was in the back alley where the trash gets picked up. And so we just thought, you know, instead of making the mess down the hallway and the elevator, having to clean all that up, we'll just toss it off the balcony. So we did. And I guess someone above us had tossed a cigarette butt off their balcony. And my roommate Farah and I are home, and all of a sudden we see these flames right outside it in the alley, and we're like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I don't even know how I just went into this mode, but I'm like, what do? I know where the fire extinguisher is in the hallway. I run down the hallway. It's locked, obviously. I bust it
Oh my
open
God.
with my elbow. My arm didn't work for like a solid week after that. I probably broke something.
Yeah.
And so I busted open, never used a fire extinguisher in my life. I run down the stairs, down like 5 flights of stairs. I go, I pull it, do the thing, and I put the fire out.
Oh,
Amazing.
wow.
I don't know
You knew how to use the fire?
No, I just
I would
like,
just be like,
somehow instinct, paranoia, whatever kicked in, and I put the fire out, and I was just like, okay, maybe we shouldn't have a real tree.
okay, so you have good fight or flight. See, I feel like
Yeah.
I never pay attention to instruction. Like on the plane, I would know where the flotation device is because you hear it all the time.
And
but
you're like, wait, do I do my
I'm
mask
like, where
first?
do
Do
I-
I
I
do
don't
theirs
know where
first?
it
Like, wait,
is.
what is it?
I have to say, why do people think they need to learn how to use a fire extinguisher? No one thinks they can.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like the whole thing is that everyone should think confidently. Like you just have to pull a pin and
Right.
press it. But it's hard.
And I did.
You did it.
But even the same with like, do you have a life hack at your house?
yes.
I
Yes.
hope I never have to use it. It seems like it's pretty simple, but I'm like, God forbid, Summer, Brock, anyone is ever choking. I'm like, will I know how to use it?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I think it'll kick in. Just like the fire extinguisher that day.
Yes.
I knew what to do.
Yeah.
But it was really scary. I thought we were going to burn down the entire
yeah,
building, and it was my fault. And it's terrifying.
It
But
would have
anyways.
been the cigarette person's fault.
Yeah, but the tree wasn't technically supposed to just be there in the
Oh, hanging
alley,
out?
so
Yeah.
it would have been on both
How
of
did
us.
it get there? I threw it off my balcony.
Right.
Totally normal.
I know.
True.
I saw this story about a family who swore off real trees because there was, unbeknownst to them, this praying mantis like larva in it, and there were like thousands of babies all throughout their house
Oh God.
from the real
Oh
tree.
God.
Are you
Could imagine?
serious?
Yes, I'm
No.
serious.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, you know what?
messed
There's
up.
many reasons why
Yeah.
we don't need real trees anymore,
Mhm.
and it
That's
just
true.
does create a mess.
Yeah.
The cats try to climb the real trees, eat it. They're drinking the water, and I'm just like,
No, gracias.
except now Salem still tries to eat the fake tree, and then he's throwing up, and I'm like, you're gonna kill yourself this
Oh my
Christmas.
gosh.
Please stop.
yeah.
It doesn't taste good. It makes you sick. Like, how have you not, in almost your 11 years of life, understood to not eat fake trees?
No, they
Give
don't
her-
care.
I don't
Give her
understand
some
it.
like extra
Cats have
tuna on the
pica. They
side.
just want to eat everything. It's especially plastic. I don't get it.
Seriously. Okay, so we're going to take one more break, and then we're going to kind of, in the words of Andy Cohen, switch gears from holiday to some people. I'll be right back.
Drama.
Okay, ladies, I've got something else for you, and that is Color Wow, which is a female-founded, family-owned business with over 100 major beauty awards. You've probably heard of their super viral frizz and humidity fighter Dream Coat. One sells literally every 5 seconds. Well, they've done it again with Money Mist. Chris Appleton, who is a celebrity hairstylist, he is Color Wow's celeb ambassador. And Money Mist, it's this light, ultra luxe leave-in treatment for all hair types, but especially if you have hair like mine that is dry, it's great for that. Also, damaged hair, it strengthens, hydrates, and detangles. Everything my hair has been through in the last couple of years, it needs some extra TLC. Money Mist gives glossy, expensive-looking results. It has heat protection built in, which is so important if you're like me and you need to style your hair often with heat. And Money Mist has sold out 3 times since launching this year, which is a crazy accomplishment. Good job, Money Mist. And also, it is Oprah's Daily's Beauty Award winner for Best Leave-In Conditioner Spray of the entire year of 2024. So if you want the best leave-in conditioner, something great for dry, damaged hair that's just going to strengthen, hydrate, and detangle, go to colorwowhair.com/goodasgold and enter code goodasgold for 20% off all products. All right, are we noticing how the days are shorter? Because I am, but your to-do lists aren't. So power through your days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. This has been getting me through the last year and a half of my life, making things so much easier from breakfast to dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled and feeling your best. So whether you like routine like Brock or you enjoy mixing things up like me, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options that you can add to your box. They have pressed juices and smoothies, which Summer and I will fight over who gets which one. They are incredible. I love all of the add-ons. So don't let shorter days slow you down. Stay energized with America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Factor lets you do you, which is what I love, especially in a household of two people loving different things and a picky kid. You can choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat if you want, or simply eat well-balanced. Everything is delivered straight to your door, ready in the microwave in just 2 minutes. Stay on your A game with quality ingredients you can trust and quality you can taste in every one of Factor's fresh, never frozen meals. Head to factormeals.com/50goodasgold and use code 50goodasgold to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code 50goodasgold at factormeals.com/50goodasgold to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping while your subscription is active. Okay, so there seems to be a lot going on with my former VPR castmates this week. It's like the cameras go down, the headlines do not. So Tom Sandoval, let's just talk about this. So his attorneys in Raquel's revenge porn suit have petitioned to remove themselves as counsel, noting that Tom is now going to be representing himself. Do we think that this is Tom can no longer afford his attorneys? Do we think his attorneys no longer want to be associated with this because they realize they're going to lose? Like, what are our thoughts here?
Ooh.
My immediate thought was he couldn't afford them anymore because,
Same.
how those lawyer bills add up so quickly.
Yeah.
And
Giving broke, giving no next season, giving I've spent
No
my
bar,
money.
no
That's
show.
Right.
And
Still
so
a
I feel
lawsuit.
like
Yeah.
I feel like he'll bring on another attorney at some point, but one that either is going to do this for a lot less, or maybe maybe he knows an attorney who might do this for a mate's rate or something. I don't know.
Or
Well-
does Tom just have that ego where he's like, I can represent myself?
I hope not.
I hope not.
I hope not too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you need a lawyer,
Yeah.
But let's get back to the part where you said, because he knows he's going to lose. Do you think that there's evidence out there? Do either of you guys think he's in a position to be losing because of the revenge porn proof that we've heard about, allegedly?
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I've heard 2 different stories, right? I mean, I've heard the story that it hasn't been passed around. And if that is at the crux of it, then he's not going to lose, because unless there is proof that somehow this did get passed around, I don't know how he would be held liable for that, or Ariana.
What about the illegal recording of it?
That's the thing. I mean, if you're on a FaceTime with someone and you are screen recording that, I guess there is a precedent set for like, you shouldn't be screen recording that. But I didn't think that was illegal. I thought it was only illegal if that then was then sent somewhere. If it was just sitting
and they'd have to prove that she doesn't have any follow-up text messages saying like, wasn't that hot? Like, show it to me. Because if she did discuss it with him after the fact, then she had knowledge of it, then it could save him from being accused of it being unbeknownst to her.
And if she's ever sent him anything in the past, it could also set a precedent. Like, you've sent me photos and videos. And like, so I didn't think that this would be any different, you know.
So he might think he has a case and he doesn't even need to pay for a lawyer because he's like, I've got this in the bag.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, we know Tom Sandoval loves a FaceTime because I got a surprise one while in Hawaii.
Okay, so that was a surprise. So you did not know he was calling you.
No.
Okay.
Wait,
So
give me every detail. I'm so confused.
So I'm at the North Shore house with Lala and fam, and Lala's holding the baby. Summer and Ocean are playing, and my phone starts ringing, and I go, Tom Sandoval is trying to FaceTime me right now. And I'm like, we don't talk on the phone. We don't talk. So I'm like, what do I do? And Lala's like, I mean, no judgment here. Where Brock's like, I don't know. I'm like, do I answer? Like, I'm kind of curious. There was all of this news in our world that came out that day. So I'm thinking this must be important. He must be calling to be like, hey, just so you know, heads up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do I answer? I don't know. And it's like almost like about to end. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just answer. Right when I answer, he's like, hey. And then he goes to the crowd. I think he's at like a Most Extras show or something. And I'm like, and I have no makeup on. My hair is like disheveled. And I'm like, and then my immediate reaction, since like Lala and Brock were right there, I'm like, panned them. And I realized Lala's holding the baby, and I was like, oh my God, was her tit out? Like, I didn't know she was feeding the baby. So I was like, Lala's here. And I was like, oh, wait, okay, no, boob not out. Okay, we're good. And then I'm like, Brock. And I just, like, all these people are screaming for us. So I didn't want to just hang up and like disappoint the people screaming for us. But I'm like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
Okay, like
So
I'm
he's
not
on tour, basically.
No, he was doing some city winery like VPR, trivia night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone was so excited to see us. And I'm like, he probably went down his list and like no one's answering. And then let's try to call Scheana.
Well, that
And
list is
Scheana
not that
answers
long.
because when it's someone I don't speak to,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in so long, I think this is probably important. And there was
Yeah.
a lot of stuff happening that day
Yeah.
that I assumed it was important.
Mhm.
It was a big news day. Plus, I know that you have a relationship with Tom, like I'm sure you have with your Shaw's cast members, where even if you're not talking,
Yeah.
you're always there for them if something. And like he kind of used one of those
Yes,
free
like what
passes
the fuck?
because
It
like
was
you're just on stage and you needed me for a prop. No, like now I'm not
I
going to
was
answer in the
pissed.
future.
And then he
Right.
called us back after. He's like, sorry. He's like texting us and he's like, oh, the next time I call, like, I'm not going to be on stage. And he calls us back and I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like, first, that's not okay. I'm like, so nothing important to say. You just wanted to like show that. And he's like, sorry. It was just, I'm like,
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
bye.
Typical.
And then
thing.
Victoria gets on the phone and she's like, Lala, she's like, I fucking love you. You're fucking the shit. And I was like, oh my, I was like, Victoria. So I had to hang up. I was just like, my child is right here. It was, oh my God. And then she's texting me after, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know your kid was, I was
Is
like,
she unwell or is she well? Like, is she?
okay. Well, I mean, it
Victoria.
looks like on Instagram as of last night, this
Yeah.
morning, they broke up again. She
Ye-
posted something. He went on live.
It was like, I mean, all I saw, because I don't follow her and she's private, even though she has like 400,000 followers. And like, I know
she
that.
went to private.
And she went to
right?
private and she posted this long thing about, wow, you guys were right. Tigers never change its stripes. He loves the best friends. Apparently, I feel like a fool, completely heartbroken.
And Tom took all the pictures down of the two of them, apparently.
Oh,
my
really?
goodness.
Yeah.
Because then he went live for like 1 minute. And at the
Yes.
very end was just like, Victoria has made a really big mistake. And then like hung up on the live.
Ay, ay, ay.
I'm
Oh,
just
dear.
like, I can't.
Good
I feel like by the time this podcast comes out on Friday, they're going to be back together.
There probably are.
If not
No.
already.
Oh, wait, she might already be back together. Wait, hold on. I just
Stop.
went to, hold on. Someone just posted online. Wait, 15 minutes ago. Victoria just posted, I would like to sincerely apologize for my previous post. I had a true misjudgment in a situation. Tom did not do anything. From my own personal trauma and experiences hearing false accusations about him all the time, clouded my judgment and got the best of me. Please respect
What?
him and know he's actually been the most supportive partner. The internet can be harsh sometimes, and I'm learning how to block out the noise.
You know,
Girl.
So
Bless
it's
her
giving
heart.
back together. I can't.
giving
Well, they just got a
broken back
place
together.
right? So
Did they? Did their house sell? Like, I don't know. Honestly, I'm so removed from that part of the show
Yeah.
people that I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on.
I figured that Ariana got a house and that
Yeah.
they sold that one, but maybe
Yeah,
we
I
don't know
honestly
if
have
the other
no
one sold.
idea.
You don't know if the
Yeah.
other one sold?
I don't know if it sold. I mean, I thought they were still dealing with that in litigation
Right.
too. And actually,
Yeah.
sorry, not to go back to his lawsuit. Now I'm actually wondering if Tom because he knows he's tied to Ariana in that lawsuit, and he knows that like technically like either one goes or the so maybe he's thinking that Ariana's lawyers will be so good that he can just sort of like hitch his wagon and kind of I don't know. I'm just theorizing things.
Not a bad theory.
Yeah.
Because she got the money for them good lawyers.
Oh, that for sure.
I think so.
But you know what? She's working hard for it,
Yes.
and good for her. In other VPR news, Joe, I saw, announced on Instagram this past week that she has declined an offer to appear on The Valley. Like, pour one out for Joe. But for real, is she okay?
She's delusional, right?
Like,
well, you
talk
know-
about a wackadoodle, but also kind of concerning. Like, I feel like her family maybe needs to step in and actually like,
Well, what was she
are
like
you okay?
when you were around her? Like, was she
a wackadoodle.
Okay. Just chaotic energy.
Always. It was a lot. And it's like, she was like a kind soul, but a wackadoodle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no one's asked you to be on The Valley, Joe.
I'm like, why would you?
There were no discussions of season 12 for you, Joe. Like,
Season 3? Season 2?
you know,
What
like,
season?
Yeah,
Wait, The Valley
any
or
of them.
VPR?
Both.
None of them.
No.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what her role would have been, who would have been having these conversations
Talking
with
about
her.
getting dumped on national television, international television, national television. I was like, have a drink for every time Joe says national television.
But then she said, like, I just wish Schwartz would unblock me because I miss him. And I'm like, girl, if he has you blocked, like, you're definitely not coming on anybody's show.
Seriously.
Oh, boy.
Oh, poor girl.
I know. Okay, still sticking with Bravo. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City has been, top tier reality TV this season. I feel like this scene of Mary showing up to Meredith's bat mitzvah and trying to peek through, I mean, that deserves an Emmy all on its own. That was so funny. I can only imagine the memes, of her just like.
Mary is hilarious. Well, if you ever talk to Mary, have her unblock me.
I saw that.
I really like
saw
her.
Mary
I love
at Kathy
Mary.
Hilton. It was my opportunity to say hi, first of all, to Mary. And then I was like, I know you don't know me because I assume that she's one of those people who doesn't watch Bravo.
Probably, yeah.
She's like, MJ,
Oh.
I know exactly who you are.
She's a Shots
Oh.
fan.
I fell over. She was like, you were always genuine and sincere in yourself. And I could always tell that.
I love that.
I know. And I was like, Mary, thank you. And so I just was like,
I love
obviously
that.
my opportunity to tell her that what she did was the most important piece of reality TV ever with her son. But yeah, she was at Kathy Hilton's.
Yeah.
So was a lot of the Salt Lake City
I
girls.
saw a lot of them were there. I was
Yeah.
bummed I missed
And did she
that.
give you an update on Robert Jr.? Like,
I didn't even ask her.
Okay.
We were just kind of keeking and talking. It was brief, but I did see Bronwyn and every single one of the girls, Angie, all of them. So it was just like a nice night. I did see James and Allie that night. They were, yeah. So, but yeah, that was a really funny moment of Mary trying to get into the bar
That
mitzvah.
was. And just watching this stuff with her and her son as a mom, I think just even as a viewer, that tugs on the heartstrings. But as a mom, I was just like I'll cry.
yeah.
I was literally, I don't cry often when I watch reality TV, but those scenes were so powerful. And I'm just like, her saying, it was like, I tried for so many years. Like, I wanted you so bad. And like, you just want to leave this world.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking.
Also,
Super.
it really hit because that's her only child.
Yeah.
I have an only child.
Same.
I felt like she said everything that anyone would ever want to hear, and she really, really came through and made us all so proud watching.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she's in our prayers, and obviously we want Robert Jr. to heal and be in a great place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the first season of Salt Lake that I've watched every episode of. Every other season, I would catch the beginning, the end, a little bit in the middle, but I just haven't made the time to watch this many Housewives franchises in a row because it's like we have 3 on at once. That's a lot on top of scripted shows and other things that I try to watch, and I can't watch TV till like 9, 10 p.m. and then I'm tired.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I am loving this season though. And
I don't like Lisa right now. Lisa Barlow is on my shit list. She's really pissing me off. What she did at this trip, like they get there and they're assigning rooms and, Bronwyn can't be in that room and she's so affected. And I felt like that bruise that she got attacked by a dog and she showed up. Yeah. And you could see this like one moment where they're recording the walk up, when you have to pretend you're arriving into a hotel over and over and how many times they shoot that. So that really showed on the final cut of this recent episode.
Yeah.
Lisa Barlow, as much as, we run into each other in the street, so you don't want to say anything negative, but she's just seeming really selfish to me right now.
It's hard when you watch OC and you see Tamra's behavior this past season, and then you're watching Salt Lake and you see Lisa's behavior this season. But then when we're with them in person, I'm like, you're not like that at all. Like we just had dinner with Tamra last week at Crystal Minkoff's house.
Okay. Yeah.
And had a very long talk with her. And I just right when I saw her, I'm like, hey, how are you? And she's like, well, I had a shit season. I'm like, I know, I watched.
Yeah. I told her, you and I, the three of us were sitting together and I was like, you didn't have a good season, girl. How are you?
Yeah.
Or like, are you going to check into, and she owned it. Like she's such a pro. She's kind of like already on the other side of it. She knows that she isn't doing and looking the best, but just being able to like kind of start right there and say, you did this that was wrong, you did that was wrong, and she took it well.
No, housewives who are professionals and know, like, I'm having a bad season, but it's okay. Whereas, like, I feel like someone like Bryn, right? Loved Bryn first season. She's having a terrible second season, but I don't feel like she knows how to pivot and react. And I feel like she's like lashing out at Jeff Lewis. Like, it's getting kind of like, oh, Bryn, this is not. Yeah. You gotta, like, you have a bad season and you gotta, like, rebound.
I forgot about New York because I caught up on Potomac.
Yes.
And Mia from Potomac is also another person not having the best season.
Not having a great season.
She's letting her kids be roadkill for this whole situation. And all I can think of when I watch her is, why don't you just be single and not have your husband? Do you have to have your boyfriend and your husband living together while he has mental health issues? Then all the more reason to protect him during this time. So she's coming off all kinds of ick and bad, and that's why now I have to catch up on, see what Bryn's up to.
Yeah, I just finished catching up on New York last night, fell asleep on the couch, and all of a sudden I hear, mommy, and I'm like, what's happening? And then Summer had gotten out of bed and I was like, oh my gosh, sorry. And then I was like, shit, the elf. Oh my God.
The elf. I love that. That's, oh my God, the elf.
I freaked out. It was like 1:30 in the morning. I wake up so disoriented on the couch. I put her back in bed.
She awake?
And she just woke up. She had a bad dream. And normally she'll walk into our room, but she was just standing because she saw the lights were still on and heard the TV. After you watch a show like on Peacock, then it's like the after show, just something else. And I'm like, what am I watching? Then I'm like dreaming about the housewives. And I was just so out of it.
Automatically reloads like the first season of Below Deck. I'm like, I don't want to watch any Below Deck.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh my God, I don't want her to see like the elf hasn't done anything yet. And so I like put her back in bed. I lay there for a second. Then I'm like, now I'm wide awake at 1:30 in the morning. I need to go down, do something with the elf. And so he got into her crayons in her little butterfly room that we have. There was a crayon trail and he was drawing.
So naughty.
Yeah. But okay, wait, back really quick to Salt Lake and Bronwyn. So the dog bite, I mean, that looked really bad. Imagine if it was a child. Like, I can't even imagine. It would have been so bad.
Died, I just feel like with the number of bites and like,
and you don't know if that dog has rabies shots and all that. That's terrifying. It said that when she was headed to the ER, she tried to get Todd to come, and he said it was likely just a scratch and that he wouldn't come. And so her daughter came. I'm sorry, but if I called Brock, if you called Tommy, if you call whoever, and you say this happened, I need you there.
They would be there before I even hung up the phone.
Literally.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then did you see something in the preview for the rest of the season where she says something about the infidelity?
Yes.
Obviously, things can be taken out of context, but I'm like.
No, she said, what about the infidelity? If we're really going to get into my marriage difficulties, there's infidelity. If he cheated on her on top of all this other neglect, I would be done with Todd.
That's really bad.
And I don't mind the reproach. I don't mind him criticizing her and not wanting her to get her hands dirty on the Palm Springs trip, because he really did see her raising her voice in ways that I'm sure he doesn't see around the house. But prove that it's more than a scratch.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
no, like, come get to the hospital. Can I also point out that I read, like, because some people I think, might not, I love Bronwyn and some people might feel some type of way.
I love her.
But I love people who do stuff behind the scenes and don't talk about it. But after she got bitten by that dog, it was because it was a foster dog. The guy was sitting in his car, talking on his phone, not paying attention to his dog in the dog park. She paid for the medical expenses for that dog and then paid for that dog to get retrained and rehomed to a new home. Because she loves dogs that much. And even though it attacked her and,
Speaking of dogs of Bronwyn, I wasn't impressed by the amount of dog shit that was all over her house.
I did ask her about that when she came on Reality Checked. I said, why was there so much dog shit in your house? And she said the reason was because she was so worried about making sure that Heather and her had a good time and made up that day that she wasn't concerned about the dog shit. And maybe she should have been more concerned about cleaning up the dog shit instead of Heather coming over. I don't know. It might have just been an excuse because...
Listen, I know that having dogs can be a responsibility, but let's start with one speck of dog shit and I will take 10 rolls of Clorox and Lysol and it will be sterilized on sterilized. And
it has to, because then once you have that smell, they'll keep going there. So it's like you have to clean it up immediately, spray that stuff on it.
And that's hardwood floors. That is a fabric that absorbs. I don't know. That wasn't an answer, basically. We're both going to tell her. We're both going to have to tell her.
Yeah.
While we're still talking Salt Lake, what do we think about the high body count hair comments?
Yeah.
Also, does Jessie from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives do Brittany's hair? I saw that online somewhere.
I saw them do a TikTok together. She was in her chair, so I think so.
Yeah. But that hair was bad. And then she recovered the next day.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I love Angie so much this season, and she's just killing it. And I will say that Brittany, I couldn't stand her in the beginning. Now I love her too. So I love them equally.
What about me?
She's the butt of every joke. Yeah. And I don't like her choices. I don't like that hypocrisy of why'd you bring me wine and I have boyfriends, but then you're saying like you're doing 3 guys, and the way Angie comes for her, it's like, girl, you established that, you were flexing that, so stay with it, own it.
It's her unhingedness though that makes me love, because I'm just like, this is not, but it's perfect for reality TV because she is so genuinely like questioning these things. She's like, she'll stand up, you guys.
Ding, ding, ding,
yeah. Oh, so good.
I don't like it. The next one was that she's like, I have an update. One of my daughters, and they flash away. Her daughter is so young, is talking to me. I was like, this is so bad.
I know, but it's like, ding, ding, ding. Yeah. I have an announcement. And they're like, and then no one says anything. It's just crickets. I think
I love that.
The subtitle said crickets chirping.
Oh my God, yes.
I really hope that was not a Frankenbite and that they were really like, we don't care.
Wait, speaking of updates and alerts, this entire weekend, all of my like, I felt like Page 6, TMZ, I kept being like, Scheana Shay says she had a sleepover with Ryan Phillippe.
Oh my God.
From that one little comment we had last week.
It was just a side comment. We were talking about Thursday nights when I used to go to clubs in Hollywood, and Dan Tana's is how it started. And my roommate at the time was dating Jesse Bradford, who was like best friends with Breckenmeyer, Ryan Phillippe, and all of the guys. And we used to do Thursday nights together with them. I remember they would always drink Hennessy. First time I've ever had Hennessy. Wow. That's what they liked as their bottle service. And she was like, did you ever hook up with Ryan? And I just like gave her a look. I was like, no, I'm just kidding. I go, we did have one sleepover. Literally, like we were at a party late. I don't know if we were sharing a car going back home or whatever. My place was closer, and he was like, can I just crash here? And I was like, yeah, sure. Right. And that was it. Always just friends. Ran into him here and there over the years. But I mean, this is also like 18 years ago, 17 years. I mean, it was forever.
Do you think he got the alert though? Like, do you think it popped up on his
someone
phone?
on his team probably did. It was
sure.
so many.
And he didn't text you?
Now, when
No,
things like this
I
come
do
to,
have
like,
his number, but there's no way it's like the same number.
test it,
But
just text him.
Yeah.
no, I'm not just random FaceTime.
Hey, Ryan.
No, I'm not. But I'm
And
like,
then pan to Brock.
there's no way. This
What-
was like 2008. There's no
is
way
he
he's still
currently
the
How
same.
single?
Can we?
Currently single?
I think I have like white pages.
What's that?
A reverse
Text me his
directory.
number.
She wants to know if she's going to check the number.
Okay.
and-
Okay, when something like this comes out, do you get an earful from Brock? Like, what is this? Or is he
There.
more like, that's your past?
Oh, he doesn't care. He laughs at it.
Okay.
Although I
good.
just found out that when we first met, he told me just as a way to be like, oh, well, I've slept with someone famous too. I'm not going to say the name of the singer, but it's a famous singer. And he said he had slept with her sister. And up until recently, I just found out that was a lie. He goes, oh, honey, I was just kidding. He's like,
my
I just
God.
made that up to try and be like, yeah, well, I slept with her sister.
Oh
That's
my
something
And I
I
was
would
like,
do.
oh,
I should
Good
do
to
that.
know.
Lies could be healthy. It should
Yeah.
be like a white lie. Like, it's just fun.
Speaking of which, that phone number comes back to a Matthew Ryan Philip. Is it Philippe or Felipe?
Philippi.
A Philippi. Okay.
Is that his dad?
I don't know. Who is
What do you
Matthew
mean?
Ryan?
His name
Let's
is-
see.
His name is Ryan. He dropped his first name. What are you guys
Let's
talking
see.
about?
Matthew.
Oh, is his
Matthew
first name
Ryan
Matthew?
Yes, that's all that
Oh, it
means.
is?
Hello?
I didn't know that.
I mean,
I didn't know his first
unless
name
his
was
dad
Matthew.
is still paying his phone
Oh,
bill, which is
no.
also fine.
That is his name.
Maybe they're on the
Wiki
family
says
plan.
His name is Matthew Ryan.
Wait,
Phillippe.
what?
So he still has the same number.
He didn't change it.
Wild.
I
I'm
haven't
not
changed it
texting him.
Give it to us. We'll text him.
That's so funny.
I mean, it makes sense.
If
I
you
mean,
ever need
keeping
a
the
place
same
to
number
crash.
for. I mean, I've had the same number for 20 years.
What-
I
Same.
have too. I
Yeah.
mean, literally.
Okay, wait. Where does he live and does he need a crash pad at your house?
I ran
Might wanna
into
dry
Jesse
out.
Bradford too last year at Pandora's son's birthday party. I had no idea they were friends,
Aw,
and I haven't seen him
interesting.
in probably 15 years. I was just like,
Is he still acting? Like,
I don't know. He should be.
yeah, I don't know what happens.
Yeah,
to
I
these
feel like our
people.
kids are around the same age, and I was just like, look at us.
Yeah,
You know?
Look at us.
The
just-
things that can bring you together. You
Yeah.
know, just show up to a good party that you know. You're
Mhm.
like running into your people, open wounds.
Yeah. So recently I was at an event with Ashley Simpson Ross and Evan, and I've known Evan since the early Hollywood days too. And they're like, let's do a double date or something soon. I was like, yeah, for sure. I was like, Ashley, I'll text you. And I'm like, wait, Evan, do you have the same number? And he goes, yeah, probably. He's like, I've had the same number forever. I'm like, I mean, me too. You know, like
Yeah.
anyone I met in 2006, I still have the same phone number.
Yeah.
So, and I guess he does too. And clearly so does Matthew.
There we go.
By the way, Ashley's autobiography CD is literally like my road trip CD.
I
Me and my
know.
friend,
Wow.
Gracia, like,
Iconic.
it is
Shout
our
out.
road trip CD.
Like if you told
Oh.
high school and college, Scheana, that one day, you know, you're going to meet JC Chazé and hang out, be friends with Lance Bass, Ashley
Right.
Simpson, just
Yeah.
so crazy. I
Well,
could
that's
never.
like me. If you'd known
So
I'd be
true.
doing a podcast with MJ,
Right?
and Scheana, I'd be like, no way.
I remember we met at the Tom Tom.
Oh yes, at Schwartz
Party.
and Sandy's. Yeah.
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 Mhm.
There are
R.I.P.
also,
Yeah.
because people seem to have such an issue with my name being Scheana Shay, but I did look up some other names. So it's funny that you said Ryan's real name is Matthew.
Yeah.
Because there was this article I read recently that had a bunch of celebrities who don't go by their legal
Yeah.
name. And Reese Witherspoon also was one of them.
What's her name?
Mm.
Laura Jean.
Oh,
Wow.
Laura
okay.
Jean Reese Witherspoon.
Okay, she does have a
Wow.
reason.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
In there.
And then Olivia Wilde is Olivia Cockburn.
Okay.
Wild is definitely more stagey.
Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
so many. Meghan Markle, her
Mhm.
real name is Rachel. I mean, no wonder why she dropped
Wow.
it.
She was like, yeah, Rachel's not a.
But
Not
there's
Brennan.
so many. Jamie Foxx is Eric Bishop. And then
Oh.
there's the ones like Emma Stone. Her name is Emily Stone.
Okay.
That
Right.
just changed it a little bit.
They also do
Demi
it because
Moore,
of SAG.
Demetria.
They say like Julia Roberts was really Julie Roberts, but she changed it to Julia because of the way you're
Oh.
registered in the guild.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's weird that you can only have one person registered, like in whatever
Right.
SAG or whatever.
Well, and that's why I just registered as Scheana Marie because I always used that, which is my legal name, but I was Scheana Marie Jankin. But Scheana Jankin just didn't have the same ring, I felt like. So I went by Scheana Marie. And then when I got married, changed it to Scheana Shay, had that alliteration, and that's
I
now
love it.
the name professionally. And so I'm like, everyone just knows me as Scheana Shay. I could be married to Brock for the rest of my life, hopefully. But Scheana Davies, I don't think is ever going to click professionally. It's just, it's Scheana Shay. And even like with Demi Moore, that was her ex-husband from like the 80s. That was his last name. It just sticks. There's Tina Turner. Like there's so many people, you know, and it's like Brock doesn't have an issue with it. And even if I legally change my name one day, which is hassle, I just feel like it's just always going to be Scheana Shay.
It is. It's
I would
always
stay
going to be.
with Scheana
Absolutely
Shay.
stay. Like,
So-
like you said, Tina Turner. Do you think that she liked Ike? No, she fucking hated him.
Right.
But like,
Sure.
she's Tina Turner and she gets stuck. She owned her name. She's like,
Yes.
it's my fucking name.
She's
Yeah.
got the alliteration.
Exactly.
All right, to wrap things up, we're going to do the Jaxhole of the week.
Woohoo.
So, did either of you see Lisa Vanderpump's recent appearance on Access Hollywood's Housewives Nightcap
I did
podcast?
not.
Yes, I did.
One thing on that podcast was the host brought up Kristen's exciting pregnancy news, and Lisa's response was, "Do we know who the dad is?"
What?
Yes.
Damn.
So I just want to say, like, with all due respect, that I mean, it was kind of shady.
Wait,
also,
Lisa said that?
yeah, and that's also
I
unprofessional.
mean, not kind of shady. That is
as-
super shady.
Super shady. But it's like, especially because Lisa is a producer on The Valley. Like you know who Luke is. You know, he's a cast member on the show. This season, they get engaged. And if you don't know who someone is on a show that you're producing, then why is your name in the credits as a producer? And then she had said like, oh, well, you know, I'm a producer on The Valley, but I'm not really involved. It's like, then why? It's just a paycheck, basically.
Yeah.
So knowing the struggles that Kristen has openly shared, you know, on her path to becoming a mother and her pregnancy loss and all of that, it's like, even if you don't like someone, it's just kind of distasteful
It
on
is.
this topic of
Good
motherhood.
Word.
So
Good word.
it's like, how hard is it to
Distasteful.
just say, I wish her the best?
Yeah.
You know?
And apparently it's too hard for LVP.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But,
I think that when certain things that you say to someone that you've already won, your LVP and your well wishes would mean so much to Kristen.
Mhm.
And you just took that opportunity and squashed it.
And I still can't figure out why she dislikes Kristen so much. I know they had beef, obviously, during the season, but I never understood why it carried on for this long, where she still has that much animosity towards her.
I feel like
Yeah.
because Kristen has always stood up to her and has never just bowed down and been like, okay, Lisa is the boss and producer. Like, she's going to tell her how she feels.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, I'm going to be nice and respectful and just like, yes, ma'am, okay.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know,
Interesting.
jump how high.
Yeah.
And you'll get a phone call if she needs you, whereas she would not call
Yeah.
Kristen. But good for Kristen for standing up for her, because she's like, I'm not getting the call, so I might as well say what I think.
Mhm.
You know, LVP is not calling me for anything,
Oh,
says Kristen.
well, thank you to my fellow silly bitches, Kiki and MJ, for getting into some shenanigans with me this week. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. Be sure, if you're not already, to listen to Till the Dirt podcast and Reality Checked on Radio Andy every Monday. We'll be getting into some solo shenanigans next week, and I can't wait to hear all of your questions you guys send in. So comment below whatever you want to hear me talk about next week. Okay, bye.
For this all my life.